Alrighty, good morning everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to the stream. How's everyone doing today? Today is Wednesday, the 21st of April, 2021, and I'm DSP, and I welcome you, that's right, you, to today's gameplay stream. How you doing? Today is a full day of streaming. Today is, hopefully, for me, the final day of heat here in Washington. We had a heat wave over this last weekend, where we had temperatures in the 80s, which is insanely seasonally abnormal, way too warm for April. The temperatures were supposed to go down over the week. They really didn't go down that much. They've been in the 70s all week, which still is unseasonably warm, which has led to me basically sweating it out every single day here in the office because the sun is out all day long beating on the front wall of my office, and it heats it up like an oven. It really does. I have blinds that block the sun, so at least it's not as bad as it could be. I have my fan on full blast, but without installing my air conditioner, there's nothing I can really do about it. I have to tough it out. Now, the thing is, I was planning on installing my air conditioner this last weekend until I found out that in the next couple of days, the temperatures here in Washington are dipping by 20 degrees or more. We're going to have cold rains, basically starting as early as tomorrow. So I was like, I'm not really going to go crazy here and go buy the stuff I need to install my air conditioner in my window when within a few days things are supposed to cool down significantly and get, like, I'm not even kidding, like we were in the 80s, we're going to go down to the 40s. Yes, I'm not kidding. A 40-degree differential in temperature within less than a week. But it's been taking its time. I think that the weather people here, of course, as usual, don't know what the hell they're talking about. They were saying it was going to cool down way quicker than it has. So here we are still in the 70s today. And I'm sitting here like, well, it's going to be hot. I can already tell you, I'm just starting to pre-stream, and the office is already heating up. So obviously, it's going to be another hot one today. Okay? So, hopefully it really does cool down like they're saying. If it does, that's good. That means I can forego installing my air conditioner another couple weeks, hopefully. Although, it does look like likely I'm going to have it installed soon. There's not much I can really do about it. You know, there's going to be a situation where I'm going to have to use it once it gets hot enough. Okay? So, we'll see what happens here. But, yeah. Expect me to be sweating it out again today. Not much can be done to help that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing on today with some fun playthroughs that we're already been working on, and of course it's my second day of playing MLB today. All this is kind of like a little bit of calm before the big storm on Friday, where it's going to be the premiere of Nier Replicant, which a lot of people have been waiting for, and that really opens the floodgates of new releases, where every week there's going to be multiple new releases here on the streams, which I'm obviously excited for. Okay, so good stuff coming up. Let's talk about today. All right. Today, Danganronpa V3 continues on the first stream. We have finished up the second class trial. We are currently investigating new areas of the school that we are unlocking. The area we're in right now kind of looks like it's haunted. I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's going to be ghosts or whatever, but it certainly seems like there's going to be some interesting stuff going on. So I guess we'll find out. All right, today as we play. Sadly, I doubt we're going to get to the next murder. Usually these in-between sessions end up being around 3 to 4 hours long with a lot of filler content. You have the what they consider the free time, where you can interact with various different students, and I'll probably keep up with the relationships that I've got. Like Kibo was one of the ones that I kept doing, so I'll probably keep trying to maybe interact with Kibo and get his max, maybe even get something special for doing it. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens today. Okay, but today is literally just Chapter 3, exploration, interacting with the other prisoners, essentially, because that's what you are, really. You're a kidnappee or a prisoner. And basically just killing time until you get to the next murder, whenever that may be. Okay? Maybe we'll get it today. That would be good if we did, but I don't know if we're going to, because there's a significant amount of time here between the different murders, usually. Okay? All right. Later tonight, it's MLB again. It's only my second session of MLB, the show. I started playing this yesterday, created my character, and I am sucking. Admittedly, I'm not doing very good. My stats are terrible. My character sucks. Right? Tonight, I'm obviously going to try to get better at the game, level up my stats even more, but also tonight is the first time we're actually going to start doing wagers for the game. So, for example, we'll do a wager for a whole game and say, during this game, will I get 2 hits? Will I get 1 hit? Will I do that? You know, different criteria. And people will be wagering their channel points or penne points while I play MLB tonight on the late stream, okay? We'll see how that goes. If it goes well, we'll keep that up. If not, we don't have to do the wagers all the time. But I'm just curious how wagers can fit into the style of this game. Okay? So, we shall see, right? We shall see how that goes. And that's tonight's late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. Pullout Dude says it's entertaining when you're the pitcher. See, I agree with you. And I actually, in the game, I made it so that it says every once in a while you should be the pitcher. And then I proceeded to play 2 hours and they never made me the pitcher. So I don't really know how it works. Because I was pitching, I was enjoying myself. I was like, oh, this is actually interesting. I haven't, pitched in the game before. And then they took it away from me. And I don't know how to get it back, I have no idea. Anyway, that's tonight. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, will be the continuation of Divinity 2. Where we're going to continue to explore Driftwood. At this point now, we're going to advance the story. Because last stream, I was just doing a lot of open world exploration. This time around, we'll try to actively advance the storyline and go from there. So that should be a fun stream. Tomorrow night, the late stream is the continuation of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. The new season releases tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. I'm very excited to see what has added to the game for the new season. It's supposed to be at least 2 new maps, plus new unlockable weapons, much like there was in the last season. So, that should be fun. I hope you guys will join me for that tomorrow night. And then, of course, on Friday, it's the big day. Nier Replicant releasing. I'll be checking it out as the main gameplay stream. It should be interesting to see how this feeds into the plotline of Nier Automata, considering it's the same storyline, only this is supposed to be like thousands of years earlier or something like that, when the curse / virus, whatever you want to call it, was infecting all organic life on Earth, which is what forced them to make androids and try to lift their souls or essences out of their organic bodies and put them into androids to try to save humanity. So I guess this is going to be the plot of them kind of fighting this virus or curse and the monsters and stuff that come with it. I think. I'm trying to understand the full plot line because it wasn't necessarily fully fleshed out in Nier Automata. It was all just in like text logs explaining the past. So it'll be interesting to see a game where that plot line actually pans out. Okay? So that's on Friday. And then Friday night, my weekly throwback Street Fighter session. Alright? And then Saturday I'm off from streaming. On Sunday, likely I'll just continue on with more Nier Replicant. And Sunday night will either be MLB or more Call of Duty. And then probably, well, you know what? I'll probably say this. I'll probably do I'll probably do MLB. Because on Monday, I might want to do a main stream of Call of Duty because I didn't get to do it over the weekend. Alright? Now, next week, at the end of the week, we've got a double new release with I said Nier Replicant again. Jeez. With Returnal coming out, I believe it's the 30th of April. So that's going to be Friday of next week. Plus Pokemon Snap. So it's a double new release week next week. Which means then the schedule is going to shift around a little bit. The main gameplay streams are going to be Nier Replicant, Returnal, and Pokemon Snap. And the night streams are going to be Divinity 2, Danganronpa V3, Street Fighter, Call of Duty, and MLB. So we're going to have a lot of stuff all going on simultaneously. It's going to be pretty wild once we get to next week. So, right now I kind of almost say it's like the calm before the storm because we're getting a ton of new games coming out in a short period of time, which should be fun, don't get me wrong, but man, it's going to be different than it's been the last 3 months. The last 3 months, we've really just focused in on a very small amount of games because there hasn't been a lot going on. And now it's going to be the opposite. There's going to be, different levels of games, new release games on the first streams and, kind of more chill games on the late streams. It'll be pretty interesting, okay? Pretty good. All right, guys. So that's that. That's the schedule. Now, ladies and gents, a few things that I need to reiterate every single day on stream because I need to basically keep saying this ad nauseum until it sinks into some people's heads. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a no harassment policy on my streams and with my content. That means that if someone comes by and is someone who regularly attends my streams and is a positive contributor in any way, shape, or form, whether they're just here to chill and they talk and interact and have a good time, whether there's someone who actually steps up and goes above and beyond and contributes possibly by cheering, subbing, or tipping to the channel. Any of those things are welcomed and appreciate it. I love hanging out with you guys. I love my job. You know, I'm an independent content creator. I don't get paid for sponsorships. I don't get paid by a company to stream exclusively on their site. It's all about you guys coming by, having a good time with me every single day and supporting the streams. And understand that I am very appreciative of that. That's why I go out of my way to shout out every single person who contributes to my streams. I you know, unlike a lot of content creators who just have it automated, I personally say thank you to every person, right? But it's come to my attention recently that sadly there are people who come to the streams, they act like they're positive, they act like they're a fan, and then behind the scenes they go off harassing people constantly. Whether it's they follow people all over the internet, meaning outside of Twitch to social media and other sites, and they harass them there, or they go to other people's streams, they go to other people's chats, and they take it upon themselves to then constantly not only shit on me, which is one thing. You want to shit on me because I'm the streamer. Okay, you know, there's not much I could do about that. But these people are actively bullying and basically harassing people who are just regulars to the streams. That is not acceptable, all right? I just want to let you guys know, it's just not. I'm not going to have it fly. I don't care if you act like you're such a friendly person on my stream, and then you go and you act like a complete fucking asshole elsewhere. It's just not allowed. And if I get wind of it, you're out of here. And recently there's been more than a couple people who that's been the case. And some people are like, oh my God, I'm shocked that Phil has banned these people. Why? Let me ask you something, all right? I'm going to ask you, I want you to think about this in a very logical manner, all right? Let's say you run a restaurant, okay? You run a restaurant, and it's a really good restaurant. People come in, they say from all around, it's good food, they like it. Now, maybe it's an acquired taste, but it's still a fairly popular restaurant that has a bunch of supporters who come and eat there regularly, and the business does pretty well for itself, okay? One of your customers, the second that they walk outside the fucking door of the restaurant, start getting harassed by people in the fucking street, right? Oh, is there oh, you went in that restaurant? Huh, fuck you. Oh, you're a fucking piece of shit. Why would you support that restaurant, man? Fuck you, fuck you. And then people go on their webs, you know, on their social media, and they harass those people for eating at the restaurant. Oh, you ate the chicken parm? Fuck you, man. Chicken parm, motherfucker. Ha ha ha. Just think about how stupid and crazy that would sound. You're harassing someone for going and eating at a particular restaurant, okay? Just think about that, how nuts that sounds. Because when you put it in terms of brick and mortar places, as opposed to things on the internet, it really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? So let me get this straight. Just because I eat somewhere, you're going to harass me all over in real life and then also on online, like all, you really? Now, do you think those people who harass the customers of that restaurant are welcome in the restaurant? You see what I'm saying? Do you really think, okay, I know that this person is someone who constantly harasses my customers outside of the restaurant for coming here. Oh, look, now they want to come down and they want to sit down and they want to eat, you know, my spaghetti and meatballs dinner. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my business, right? I have the ability to discern between who's allowed in my business and who's going to be a patron of mine and who's not. You don't have to serve everyone who comes and sits down at your restaurant if they're a fucking asshole. You see? So that being said, it's the same premise. Just because this is a stream that's on the internet doesn't mean that it's different than a brick and mortar restaurant. It's the same thing. It's my business. It's my income. It's my job. I try to propagate an atmosphere where people can sit and relax and have a good time and interact with me, have a good time with games. It's supposed to be a positive, fun, chill place, okay? You going outside of the stream and harassing people who are regulars is not going to fly, okay? That's why... That is why I have this rule in effect. So, it's funny because I don't go out of my way to monitor people's actions. I don't go out of my way to know about any of this shit. But people tend to get the information to me anyway. I get emails about it. I get messages about it. Phil, were you aware that this person who is a regular to your stream is actually an asshole outside of your stream and harasses people here and here? I'm like, no, I didn't know that at all, but I'm glad you told me because I'll take care of it. I'm just not going to have this fucking person around anymore, you know? So that being said, yeah, that's the deal. I'm not going to put up with the bullshit anymore. All right? So please understand that there's a no tolerance policy for harassment around here. I don't care if someone is just a stream viewer, a regular stream viewer, someone who interacts with me all the time, someone who never interacts with me. I don't care if it's someone who's never contributed to the streams ever or someone who's one of the top contributors to the streams to help out. I don't give a shit. If you harass someone who's someone on my stream and enjoys it, you're out of here. You're not welcome. That's the rule. It's actually always been in effect. It's just that I've never really emphasized it. And I certainly don't go out of my way to monitor the behavior of people, but people have been bringing this to my attention recently to the point where I'm like, wow, I never would have thought this person or this person who's regular on my stream then goes off my stream and completely acts like a fool everywhere else, harassing people who are regulars, or saying nasty shit about me. I never would have thought about that. I never would, you take people, when you're an internet content creator like me, and you have a community who you interact with every day, you take things at face value. You think that everyone, I kind of have to. I take it for granted that people who act one way on my stream, that's who they are. Unbeknownst to me, there's people who just want to be two-faced and do some pretty nasty stuff behind the scenes, okay? So I'm laying down the law. I'm going to be talking about this every day until people get it through their heads. That shit is not allowed, okay? So I hope you guys get the picture. And by the way, I'm certainly not saying this is most of or many of you. This is a small group of people. Sadly, this small group of people have made life pretty much a living hell for a group of regulars, and I'm not going to have it anymore, okay? That's why I'm really laying down the law here with this. Fair enough? Okay. So I got that out of the way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of support and speaking of those of you who do step up and support my streams every day, thank you so far. This week has been very good for support. I talked about this earlier in the week. I'm going to reiterate it today. If you like my content, if you like my streams, and you want to support me, there is one major way you can support me right now in the short term, and that is by tipping me during today's stream. All right? We've already hit the subs goal for the month. Thank you to everyone who did subscribe or gift subs to make that happen. That special event, the retro replay event, will be happening. I have not had a chance to do anything with it yet. Likely over this weekend, I'll try to sit down one morning and set stuff up for that, okay? But that's a lock. That's happening no matter what, all right? Right now, in the short term, I need your support with tips. If you are going to support the streams in the next week to 2 weeks through the end of April, please, if you can, tip me. Reason being, I'm strapped right now for money. Being very honest with all of you, I had to drop a big payment to the federal government over the past week in order to get square on my taxes. So now that they'll qualify me for a back tax payment plan, which they did, or they're going to, I should say, because my tax guy's going to contact them about it now that I've paid up on my taxes. But when I did that, I essentially emptied out all my finances. And now, to pay bills and make ends meet, it's you guys directly every day and your tips and support on these streams that's allowing me to afford everything. No exaggeration. Any tips I'm raising this week are directly paying my bills, including things like my utilities, the cost of the games coming up next week, because I've already bought Nier Replicant, but I still got to buy Returnal and Pokemon Snap. Me going grocery shopping this coming weekend and buying necessities for, around the house and everything. All this is supported by your tips right now. 100% directly. That's where the money is going. Okay? Anything that I raise is going to, something that's a necessity at this point. I don't like being in this type position, but that's just the position I'm in right now. All right? So if you like the streams, I appreciate subs. I appreciate cheers. They do help in the long term. But right now in the short term, I need help with tips. So if you could tip me, I would greatly appreciate it. If you've been holding out to support the channel because you're like, oh, I'm waiting for the new releases to come out, then I'm really going to help Phil. Well, the new releases are here. MLB's already here. Nier Replicants in a day and a half. Please, if you can, support with tips. It would help me tremendously, and I really need that support. Like I've told you guys, I'm trying to hit the tips goal on every single stream this week. We've done that except for last night. Last night was a bust, and here's why. All right? I had already announced that Genshin Impact was going to leave the rotation. I already said this. I said Genshin Impact at this point is going to go on hiatus because I just don't see myself playing it when there's so many other games and regular playthroughs that I'm doing. Genshin Impact has always been a game that was going to be a filler game when there's nothing else to play to kill time. And I just finished the major story arc, the intro story arc of Genshin Impact. So we were basically heading into a new story, but being that I'm not going to be playing that story anytime soon, basically attention completely disintegrated for this game. I was playing it last night. I got so bored, and people in the stream were incredibly bored. I was falling asleep. I'm not exaggerating. My eyes were drooping. I was falling asleep during this stream because the game was so fucking boring. And I said, I can't do this. I have to do something to keep me awake, so I switched to Call of Duty. So last night, I didn't hit the tips call. Not even close. We didn't even get halfway. All right? Like I said, my goal this week was to try to hit it. So, if you could tip me today to support the streams, That would help tremendously. I'm actually hoping that in the next couple of days, I can make up for the fact that last night I didn't hit the tips goal. All right? So please, if you can, tip me. A couple things to know. First of all, I strongly recommend, if you're going to be any kind of a supporter of my streams, please diversify yourself here on Twitch from your other social media. I can't urge you enough. There are people who come here to the streams and are regulars, and they get harassed on social media for stupid reasons. Please use a different name here than you used on social media accounts. That way people can't follow you over there and harass you. I also recommend you close open DMs on Twitch for the exact same reasons, all right? If you're going to tip me, please, if you can, create a verified PayPal account. A verified PayPal account means that your real-life information is linked to your PayPal. You're a real person. You're not someone who's anonymously trying to just throw stolen credit card numbers at me and commit fraud. This happened to me a tremendous amount during the fall. It resulted in thousands of dollars of problems and fees for me on PayPal. It was not a good time. Thankfully, I've gotten through that since I started instituting the requirement for verified tips. So please consider making a verified account. It's strongly recommended, because if you tip me and you don't have it, likely I'm going to just end up having to refund your tip because I can't take on that liability to my business. In addition, if you're a regular supporter and you're going to tip me regularly, you might want to create a code word that you're going to say in your message to me when you tip me. By doing that, I will know it's you. I'll know it's not someone trying to impersonate you or someone trying to send me a fake tip. That'll allow me to trust your tip immediately and just continue on with my stream streamlined, instead of having to worry about, oh no, this is someone who's malicious or something. I got to go verify their tip, which I hate doing. I don't like having to go verify tips. It breaks up the momentum of the stream. It derails it. I don't like that, all right? So please, in advance, consider these things. Thank you very much to anyone who considers contributing to my streams and or supporting me today. Today's a big day, an important day, so hopefully everything goes well with that. All right? Fair enough? All right. Now, before we get to shout-outs for contributions, gaming news today is picking up. First of all, the next Tales of game, which is called Tales of Arise, which looks pretty damn good, had big news today. First of all, and announced that it will have current, or I guess you could call it next gen, because most people don't have it yet, versions of their games. It's not just a PS4 and Xbox One game anymore. Now there'll be PS5 and Xbox Series S and X versions of the game as well. Also, the game has gotten a release date of September 10th. Will it actually come out on September 10th? I don't know. But the Tales of series, very popular RPG series. I have not played a Tales of game in many, many years. This game looks pretty damn good. So I am excited. I'm excited for good stuff when it comes out in September. A good RPG, hopefully. All right. So that's a big update, everybody. That's number one. Number two, apparently there's a new Phoenix Wright game coming out. And this one kind of hit everyone, like no one was expecting this. I think it's called like the Chronicles of the Ace Attorney or something like that. Now, the thing is, I don't know if I'm going to play it. Reason being, number one, I'm playing a visual novel right now. And chances are, with the way that Danganronpa V3 is being played, meaning it's going to be a back burner game because it's viewer's choice, it's not a new release, I may, be playing this for months and months before I finish it. So, if I'm playing Danganronpa V3 all over the course of the summer, I really don't think that playing another visual novel is the right thing to do right now. In addition to that, I didn't play any of the other games. I beat all the mainstream Ace Attorney games, which I think there's 3 to 4 of them, but I never played the ones that were after that, which is, who is it, Apollo Justice or whatever? And I guess this game is supposed to be like, I don't know if it's a prequel, I don't know what it is, but essentially, I don't see myself jumping into another Phoenix Wright at the same time that, or just right after playing a visual novel in Danganronpa. Okay? So, FYI, I think it is coming out over the summer. I think that was the word that it's coming out, I think in like July or something like that. That's all well and good. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm never going to play this game. I'm just saying I don't think that if that is the case, and if it does come out over the summer, probably not a good time for me to play it. Because of everything else going on right now. So, there was something else too. There's a third thing. I forgot what it was. Those are 2 things that stuck in my head, but I can't remember what the third thing is. I think there was, I'm pretty sure there was a really big, other piece of news, but goddamn, I can't remember what it was. Nope, we already talked about Kaplan leaving Blizzard yesterday, Pray for Rock. That's old news. Does anyone remember what the third news story is? The big one? If not, we'll just move on and we'll get to shout-outs. But I swear there was a third story. Ugh. Mortal Kombat. What about Mortal Kombat? Star Wars. Oh, that is true. The strong rumor is that they're going back and they're going to remake Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for a modern audience. Now, I just played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic a year and a half ago, right? It was very early 2020 when I played the game. And when I played the game, I enjoyed it. The reason I really liked it was because you could see how this game was basically the predecessor of so many other things that BioWare would go on to do. There's game elements in that game that went on and ended up being in games like Mass Effect, Dragon Age. You could really see the influence of this early BioWare RPG in future games. It's cool to see the origins of games that you've played and really enjoyed by playing a game that that studio had previously made, right? I'll be honest, Knights of the Old Republic is very rough around the edges. It has a lot of issues with bugs and stuff, and it's still a fun game, and I like that there's these weird choices you can make that kind of change things in the game, but at the same time, it's very unpolished playing the original version at this point. So maybe it needs a remaster. I could definitely see if it was remade for modern audiences and they remove all the bugs and everything, and with modern graphics, it could be pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it could actually be significant. Some people who've never played that game before or never even heard of Knights of the Old Republic will probably check it out. And I would like that. At the same time, though, like, that game, it has a charm to it because you can see the origins of BioWare when you play it. So what I would hope is they don't, if they remake the game, don't change it so that it doesn't feel like a BioWare game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like they could remake the game and completely change it up, and now it doesn't feel like a BioWare game anymore. So I'll give you a perfect example of this. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It has the name Final Fantasy VII. It has the characters from Final Fantasy VII. It has some of the plot lines and some of the enemies from Final Fantasy VII. But that game is not Final Fantasy VII in any way, shape, or form. That game is not even close to being Final Fantasy VII. That game is its own entity. It's its own thing, made for a modern gaming audience. It definitely doesn't play like the old school Final Fantasy VII at all. And by the way, that's not me criticizing it. I'm just saying it is its own thing, and that's okay. It's okay to have a game that's different from the original, right? But for me, I went in with expectations the game would be like Final Fantasy VII, and that game was nothing like the original at all. So kind of like, I was a little disappointed because I was hoping for nostalgia, and I didn't really get that playing the game. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of the same thing with Knights of the Old Republic. If they remake the game for a modern audience, but the game doesn't have that BioWare feel to it, right? Then is it really Knights of the Old Republic at all? Or is it its own new game? Should they call this Knights of the Old Republic, you know, remade or whatever, rather than just Knights of the Old Republic and then sell it as like that's the same game, you see? But anyway, it's interesting to me because I waited so long to play Knights of the Old Republic. I finally play it, and now, of course, a year later, it's announced that there's a remake. It's like, this always happens to me. Just like last year, after many years of holding out of playing the Mass Effect games again, last year I caved and I said, okay, I'll play Mass Effect 2 again, because I only played it once. I play it, and then they immediately announced the Mass Effect Collection. And I'm like, this always fucking happens. I'll play the original Crash Bandicoot games. Oh, here's Crash Bandicoot Modern Remake Collection. What the fuck is going on? I played Spyro 1, and then the Spyro Collection came out a year later. What the fuck? Why does this happen to me? Why? I want answers. I demand answers. Who is stalking me and watching the games I'm playing and then purposely remaking them 1 year later? Who is it? I want to know. Someone tell me right now. Alright, obviously I'm being silly. I don't think that anyone stalks me and purposely does this. Pray for Rock just said in the stream chat, when you replay Chrono Trigger, a new port will immediately happen. And listen, we've all wanted Chrono Trigger to be remade for many, many years. I would love a modern remake of Chrono Trigger in the modern style of Toriyama stuff, right? So you know what? You know what this says then? This says that I need to replay Chrono Trigger. Because I by playing the game, I will cause the inception of the idea for the game to be remade, and it will be remade within a year. So I need to play the game. There you go. Are there any other games you guys want remade? Because I should play them. Because that's what always happens. I get the shaft. Alright? Anyway. That's right. Gaming executives are constantly watching my streams. You're absolutely correct. That's what it is. Primarily, my main viewing audience is executives of major gaming companies. I don't know if you guys knew that. You know, Phil Spencer. He's actually my biggest contributor. Phil Spencer is Only Iced Coffee. Oh my God. Yes. It's been revealed. Phil Spencer is Only Iced Coffee. We always knew this. Now it's been revealed. Finally. Finally, we know. Okay, anyway, obviously I'm kidding. I'm just being very silly. Okay. I pressed the wrong button, by the way. I meant to press this button. But when I picked up the sound maker, I accidentally hit a button with my finger. I played the wrong sound. Oops. Anyway. Alright, guys. So anyway, yeah. So apparently Knights of the Old Republic is being remade. And, interesting rumor, if it is true. I'd be very interested to see what they do with that. Because I don't think just tossing the game with HD graphics is the way to go. I think that they have to remake a lot of things in that game to make it better for a modern audience. I'm curious to see how they would do it. So. Okay. Let's see here. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I want to cover before we get to your shout-outs. I guess not. It's already late enough. Let's get to shout-outs, everybody. Fluttershy, I also would love to play Chrono Trigger again. He wants me to do another Chrono Trigger playthrough. I would love to play the game again. And this time around, maybe do the alternate endings and stuff, too. So, alright, so ladies and gentlemen, overnight, Phantasy Star PG cheered, and he says, last week you talked about a scenario of Sony buys Square Enix. Here's how I see changes in Jim Ryan's AAA game focus. The A-Team studios that make Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts will be business as usual, but the studios that don't make good games in years, like maybe Eidos Montreal, hold on, my laptop just screwed up. There we go. They'll probably be closed or turned into support teams, like Tomb Raider will be moved to Naughty Dog and Crystal Dynamics. If not closed, we'll still make Avengers 2 with Insomniac Games. Interesting. You may be right, especially because, again, the strong rumor behind the scenes is that Sony is taking people off of the non-successful IPs and having them do support work for the successful IPs. So maybe you're right. Square Enix has a giant umbrella. Like, you may not realize how many games they make, but there's a lot of games that they develop. And or publish. So maybe you see some shifting, right? You see shifting around priorities and the like. Ang Lemon has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Ang Lemon, for the sub. Our first official cheer of the day is from Mr. Hurdy-Gurdy Man Sock. And listen to this. Now he says, why don't you tell us how much you spend on bills every month so we have targets to reach? How about no? How about this, all right? If you like my content and you enjoy the streams and you want to help out, please do. I'll tell you what the best way is to help out, and I'll let you know how things go, all right? But outside of that, none of the details are your business. If you want to try to delve directly into every dollar that I spend, you are an obsessive person. You need help. Just because I have a business that is run by crowdfunding, that people say, oh, I support Phil, I want to see him be successful. Here, I'll support him via cheering, subbing, or tipping. That doesn't entitle any person on the internet to have a detailed accounting of all of my finances. If you think that, you are insane. You are actually legitimately insane. You should go seek professional help. Because if you think that is a logical thought in your head, you're wrong. I'm serious. Drop what you're doing right now. If that is really your mentality. Well, if someone even gives $1 to Phil, that means that every single dollar should be accounted for publicly. Here's what I want you to do. Step 1. I want you to close your laptop or close whatever electronic device you're watching the stream on right now. Number 2. I want you to go to wherever your medical insurance is. I want you to log into their website. I want you to seek out psychiatric professionals. And I want you to go have a session with them and tell them that and see how they respond. Okay? You need to. You're out of your mind. No. I'm not going to do that. You're nuts. I'm not going to tell you all the personal shit. You have any idea what people would do with any kind of personal information that I reveal? As it is. All right? I can't share 99% of stuff about my personal life with all of you because these people are obsessively crazy and they find every little thing to spin into a conspiracy or a lie about me. They literally on a daily basis try to make shit up. It doesn't work anymore, which is great. I'm really appreciative now that there's been so much nonsense said about me over the years that no one cares anymore. And that's just the truth. Like, it got to a boiling point where the things that they say and do got so ridiculously over the top nuts that people just don't care anymore. People are like, it's just another day someone else made something up about Phil. We don't care. Just come to the stream and enjoy it and support them, and who cares, right? And I'm happy about that. I'm happy that these people have basically burned themselves out to the point where they're just so nuts that no one fucking listens to their nonsense anymore besides them. They literally just circle jerk each other and no one cares. No one with a logical brain gives two fucks about these people. And I'm very happy we've gotten to that point. Seriously, because it's just, again, just listen to what this guy just said. I want you to give us an update on all of your financials because you have a crowdfunded business. What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, you are nuts. If you actually think that, you are crazy. You are just completely insane. And you need professional help. I can't give it to you. You've got to go seek it for yourself. You've got to identify the problem, and you've got to go check it out, man. Because I'm not going to be able to be here to parent you through this issue at all. Okay? But by the way, no, I don't think that the vast majority of people who sit here on my streams and hang out with me on a daily basis, and or the vast majority of people who contribute to my streams to keep them going, are in that category. What it is we have a good community here, people who hang out and have a good time every day, and then you got the outsiders, the outliers who like to come in and try to mess around, and those are the people who say ridiculous, stupid things like this. Okay? Excuse me. Whew. High's Darkness is our first tipper of the day. He did $1.30 and he says, it's not much, but I love Danganronpa streams. Hopefully you'll play Chrono Trigger soon. It would be great if I did. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. We're going to have at least 3+ months of crazy new releases coming up. But I would love to go back and replay Chrono Trigger. My original playthrough was many, many years ago, before I was doing live streaming like I do today. And I didn't go back and do any alternate endings or anything. I just kind of like turboed through the game. Because at that point, I was enjoying the game, but everyone was complaining, oh, you're playing a retro game, I hate this. Which I just don't understand that mentality. You know, when I was doing playthroughs that were just for YouTube audience, oh my god, it was so different. And it was so closed-minded. Really, a lot of people just had no patience for me playing games that I liked from my past. They just wanted me to constantly be playing either GTA or a fucking new release constantly. It really drove me nuts. And I'm very glad that things are different today. So, okay. Hurdy-gurdy man sock cheered. He says, oh, I was just joking. No need to freak out. I'd be interested in an update on the kitchen shelving situation. Is everyone okay? How were the Lowe's employees? I didn't go. I was supposed to go last week to get my air conditioner stuff and the things for the kitchen drawer, and I don't have it. I didn't have a chance. It was too busy of a day. It was incredibly hot on Saturday, and my wife and I already had an agenda of things that we needed to get done before we did that, and we just didn't have a chance to go. So, no progress has been made on that front. Meg from Meg Cheers says, you ever play Tales of Berseria? I bought it on Steam, and I hate how you have to custom map your combos. I'd rather have the game do that and not worry about constantly going into the menu to change your movesets. No, the one major Tales of game that I played before I was a content creator was Tales of Vesperia. And I really enjoyed Tales of Vesperia. I played the shit out of it. I played it on Xbox 360, and I can't remember if I 100%ed all the achievements or not. But that was one of the games that I actually spent a lot of time grinding to try to level up and unlock all the abilities, like the end game abilities and stuff. And I really, really enjoyed it. Okay? Now, when I became a content creator, I played Tales of Exilia 1 and 2. The first game I played and beat. The second game I didn't because I got bored with it and didn't really like the plot, and I didn't really like where they were going with it. So, That's my experience with Tales. I tried playing Tales of Symphonia. I think that lasted like 10 hours before everyone got bored and I stopped playing it. So I would say the Tales of games are hit or miss because some of them, the more modernized ones, are quite good, but some of the older ones feel a little bit outdated and kind of boring. So I'm curious to see what happens with Tales of Arise. It looks good, but I don't know how it's going to pan out. I guess we'll have to see. But no, I never played Tales of Berseria. Mr. Hurdy-Gurdy Man Sock Cheery says, you said that you were there on Super Turbo's launch day. Do you remember the first time you saw someone do a Shoryuken on command, and did you call them out on it? I did not say that. I said I was there for the launch of Street Fighter 2. That when it launched in American arcades, I was basically there for the launch because the arcade owner who owned the arcade that I went to actually had a lot of connections, and he would go to other places, like he would go to trade shows and stuff, and he would find out about the hottest games coming out, and he would actually try to get some of them fairly early. He was very good about getting fighting games fairly early on. While a lot of other arcades would lag and take months to get them, he would actually usually get them and be one of the first arcades anywhere in Connecticut or anywhere in that even region to get those games. So he actually got Street Fighter 2 relatively early on in its life cycle, while a lot of other places took a while to get it. And I was there the day the arcade got it. He had put it in, I believe it was a Saturday. And I went there, and it was because I had gone that, earlier in the week, and they didn't have it. And all of a sudden I go on Saturday, and there's a giant line in front of an arcade game. I'm like, what is this? I've never seen people line up to play a game like this before. And it's because it was Street Fighter, competitive head-to-head. And so your question is about doing Shoryukens on command. When the game came out, no one knew how to do anything. The game didn't even have a moves list. The original fighting games did not have moves lists on the cabinets. That wasn't until, I want to say it was either near the end of the life cycle of Champion Edition, which is the second version of Street Fighter 2, or maybe not even into Hyper Fighting, which was the third version of Street Fighter 2, where they had the cabinet marquee artwork that was around the screen, would actually have the character and a couple of their special moves listed, so you then knew how to do them. There was no internet moves list back then. There was no way to get information about these games at all. So absolutely, no one knew about the special moves or anything about how to do them or anything. People just kind of fucked around to try to figure them out. And so I remember everyone knew how to do fireballs with Ryu and Ken because it was relatively easy motion. People were learning how to do the charge moves with characters like Guile and Blanca and E Honda. But some characters, for example, Zangief, a lot of people didn't understand how to do his throw, so they just kind of went crazy on the joystick trying to figure it out. Of course, it became the spinning pile driver, was a 360 motion. Shoryuken actually wasn't really discovered until months into the game's launch because people didn't know it was forward, down, down, forward. It's more elaborate motion. So, messing around, people didn't really understand how to do it consistently. A lot of people thought what it was a double fireball motion. They thought, you do one fireball motion, you get the fireball. If you do it twice, you get the Shoryuken, which isn't the case. It's actually a different motion entirely, but that's how people could kind of get it. So, yeah, it was very interesting. It really was. It was very interesting. It was a different time. But I would argue you didn't really see people consistently knowing full moves list for these games until probably halfway, if not further, into the launch of Champion Edition, which was the second version of Street Fighter 2 that included the boss fighters as playable characters. Okay? All right. Total Score and Cheer, he says, can you put on a hard hat for the $50 tips goal? No. Golden Cole said a 50-bit cheer. He says you should only be drinking water. Dump out your Mio water mixers and return to the patrician's choice of pure water. I mean, I mostly drink pure water. I almost always drink pure water all day long. That's what I'm drinking here when I'm streaming. Maybe once a day I have something with caffeine in it to give me a little bit of energy boost. But for the most part, I just drink water all day long to hydrate myself. So, Erica Jolie did a 100-bit cheer, and this is the biggest cheer of the day so far. So let me update the leaderboard. It's 100 bits. All right, and Erica says, hope you're doing well. The PS Store is saved. Woohoo, happy. Let's have a great stream. Yeah, we talked about this a couple days ago, that Sony has completely done a 180 on their original decision to close down the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita stores. Those stores will now remain open indefinitely so that people can continue to purchase and enjoy the classic games. For me, playing PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games emulated on the PS3 was a huge thing. I really enjoyed playing a lot of the classic games over the years on the PS3, And that would have actually sucked. Like I told you guys, sometimes I do these indies marathons. I'll do a retro marathon, Halloween marathon, playing older horror games. This is how you get access to the games. And it really sucked that they were going to shut all that down. And then they changed their minds, unless you own a PSP, in which case you're screwed because the PSP store is still closing down, so Sony doesn't care about you. But anyway, yeah, it's a good situation where Sony actually listened to consumer feedback for once. I say for once, but Sony's usually pretty good about it. And directly made a decision based on the backlash that they got when they originally announced they would be closing the store. So it's a good thing for sure. I'm happy that this is the case. And, moving forward, now the legacy game, the older classic games collection will be protected, at least as long as they don't shut it down. I guess we'll see. Okay. All right. Hurdy-gurdy man, sock again cheered. He says, I am a true and honest fan. I contribute, but I think if you motivate us with bad times, you should let us know when you're having good times. Not specifics, just vibes. Not vibes you hide under the bed. What the fuck is going on with this guy? What is he saying? What the hell are you saying, bro? The frick is happening here? I don't know. Listen, I don't want to talk about my financials all day. Right now, it's a tough time. I'm hoping that once I get through this month and then into next month, hopefully I can get through these shitty, tougher times and get to a point where I don't have financial problems, I told you already earlier this year, I said, listen, I'm at a point now where it looks like I can kind of guess what my income is going to be, which really wasn't possible previously, but now that I've been doing full-time streaming for a few years, and now we see the model that I've kind of settled into, it's kind of easier to predict what I'm going to make, and so therefore it's easier for my tax guy to tell me what my estimated tax payment should be, and it's looking like if everything keeps going according to plan this year, okay? And what that means is that there's no disasters with my streams. There's nothing horrible that happens. That means there's a reduction in income or anything like that. Because I have to preface it saying that, because every time that I say something like this, things are getting better, then somehow something happens and it gets worse, okay? But if everything stays as is for this year, okay, I'll finally be able to pay all my taxes properly for the first time in many years. That means next year I won't have any additional back taxes that I need to pay. And that means I won't have to constantly be rolling taxes into payments, making final payments to qualify for another tax plan. It'll all be even, Steven. I'll be good. All right? This is what I've been working towards for many years. This is why when people say, oh, well, you declared the bankruptcy, that's it. All your problems went away, right? No, because it wasn't just my unsecured debt that was a problem. It was years of unpaid back taxes that was the real problem. And I couldn't pay those until my unsecured debts were gone. You see what I mean? So all that, people say, oh, you have all this money freed up. No, that money now goes towards the tax situation. And now this year, if things keep going the way they are, looks like next year will be the first year I don't have a tax dilemma. Finally. All right? But I don't want to talk about this all day. I don't. It's very matter of fact. I tell you guys when I need help. Right now in the short term, I need help with tips. It's that simple. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know every in and out of every little fucking thing about my life. Seriously. Okay. Total score and cheer. And by the way, if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't done any special fundraising events or anything at all in the last year. That's a significant change. You remember, previous years I had to do, it's an emergency stream. I need help. Please come and support if you can. I don't do that anymore, right? That's something that's a direct improvement. I don't have to do those crazy event stream things anymore because you guys just support me regularly, and I've been able to keep myself out of those situations, okay? So that's at least a direct improvement from how it used to be. For a year now, we haven't had that, right? And that's a good thing. Total score and cheered. It says, I've read the shortest book in the world, Things to Do in Bulgaria. It was 2 pages long and it was empty. Wow. Pointless. Golden Coach has done an 80-bit cheer, and he says, did you decide what kind of Chef Boyardee that you're going to eat? You should mix in balsamic vinaigrette butter and shred Romano cheese over it. No, I know exactly what I'm eating. I know exactly what Chef Boyardee. I'm not going to spoil it, but I looked in the store. I saw what Chef Boyardees were there. and I determined what one would be the one that I feel that I should eat for the event. So yes, I already know what Chef Boyardee I'll be eating. Hurdy Gurdy Man cheered again. I'm sure this one will be great. He says, I remember the days of occasional house tours. You would show us stuff, and we got an insight into the real you, the man behind the mask. That's right, and you remember when that had to end. I'll tell you the day when the house tours ended. The day the house tours ended is the day when I got an email from my power company that said, thank you for your support request. Per your request, your power will be turned off on Monday. Because it was like a Saturday. Okay? And I get this email about, what the fuck is this? What? How? So I called my power company. And I talked to them on the phone, and they said, oh, sir, you just called in, and you said to cancel your power, that you're moving and you want your power shut off. I said, no, I didn't. But, sir, this person knew your address. They knew your phone number. They knew basic qualifying information. And so because of that, we assumed that it was you. Well, it wasn't. Well, then how would this person know, the power company? Why? Because I had a vlog, and in the vlog, I accidentally had left my power bill on my countertop. And it had the name of the company on it. So this person, knowing my name, address, and phone number, called into the company, impersonating me, and had my power shut off. Now, luckily, they have email confirmation of any changes. So when I got the email confirmation, I immediately called and canceled all that. And since then, I put protections in. I have a flag on my account and everything. And it says, you do not do anything without this password or whatever. That will how you'll know that it's really Phil. Okay? Also, let's also keep in mind, over the years that I was doing house tours and vlogs, it was constant harassment about everything that showed up in the videos. Oh my God, did you see this thing in the video? Did you see the coffee maker he owns and how expensive that shit must be? Someone actually saying that my coffee maker was a $500 coffee maker, a complete fucking idiot, because they're a moron who looks for an outdated, out of production coffee maker on Amazon and sees that there's actually one available that someone's selling for $500, and they think that my coffee maker is a $500 coffee maker because they're a fucking idiot. And then, by the way, they spread that around as fact and slander me all over the internet. The people think Phil spends $500 on a fucking coffee maker. You see? So those are just two very small examples. There are many things that happen over the years as a result of me basically vlogging everything that turned into really stupid things that people said and did in regards to me, to the point where I said, is this simple? It's not worth it anymore, right? As I said, in 2017, this was the year. 2017 was the year that I made the determination. I said, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I enjoyed from the years of 2009, when I revealed my face for the first time, and doing the constant vlogging of everything, whether it was a house tour, I went on a trip and I vlogged the trip, or whatever it was, from 2009 all the way through 2017. You're talking basically around 8 years of my life, right? Where everything was made public. I really didn't hide anything from anyone. Everything that I did, you guys knew about, okay? Because I basically felt the more transparent I was, the more real I was with my audience. There was a legit connection there. And also I felt that, honestly, that's a way to diversify my content. Rather than just being the guy who plays games on the internet, you could know the real me, and that was a good way to do that, right? But when it started to become, oh, everyone hates on Phil, and it's virally popular to just shit on Darkside Phil constantly, so let's find every which way to basically make fun of him, screw him, lie about him, slander him, defame him, harass him online, harass him offline, do whatever we can to make his life a living hell. When that basically became the general mentality of people on the internet, that was the day when I realized that was the end of that, and let's just basically shut all that down, and I need to basically focus on having a private life, okay? And since I did that, in 2017, when I actively turned off the cameras behind the scenes and I said, you guys will only see what's on a stream, that's it, my life quality has significantly increased, all right? I met my now wife. I have a beautiful, loving relationship with her that's behind the scenes that you guys don't need to know anything about our private life and what we do because it's none of your business. And because of that, we're protected and we have a really good life together, right? We have, hobbies, we have interests, we have things we do. You don't need to know because it's none of anyone's business but ours. And that's a good thing because the more people know, the more they use it to mess with us. So why share everything, right? It was a different time. When I started on YouTube 10, 12 years ago, the world was a different place. When everything I shared on YouTube was seen as a positive. It was, wow, look, someone's sharing their life with us on a daily basis. This is free and entertaining content. This is fun. We get to know Phil personally. This is really nice content. And then over the years, it became, wow, let's just sit and make fun of everything that Phil puts on the internet. Let's drag him down so that we feel better about ourselves. And when that happened, and I saw that YouTube was becoming a more toxic place and a place where everything was spun negatively, that was when all that ended. Right? That's the end of that. It's that simple. So, that being said, okay, all that being said, no, you're not going to see a return to the behind-the-scenes content because it's just too much harassment. Listen, it's gotten to the point where now, these people who are just nuts realize they can't really get to me anymore. They've tried every dirty trick in the book. They've tried every piece of harassment. They've tried every dirty tactic, and none of it works. So now they've degraded themselves down to the point where now they're going to try to harass stream viewers and contributors. You see? That's why I said first thing on the pre-stream today, this is the new policy. I'm enforcing it. No one's allowed to harass stream viewers or contributors anywhere, or else you're out of here. You see? They basically made it to the point where they can't do anything to me anymore. You know? So they move on to who else can we harass? Because they're losers. Okay? So that's it. I'm not going to bother with it, and I'm certainly not going to open the floodgates and get myself, in a situation where I'm vulnerable again. Fuck all that. Trust me, I'm with you guys far enough on these streams. I'm here from, 10:45 in the morning all the way through 4 p.m. Then I'm back around 6:45 till around, 9:15. Plus all the work that I do in between. That's enough of my life on a daily basis you guys get. I'm not going to 100% give me, my entire life, I deserve to have a private life behind the scenes, man. I do. Okay? Mr. Hurdy-Gurdy, man, thank you for the cheer, and I'm not even going to read it. Technical did tip me $1.30. What's up, Technical? He said, I went to Wendy's, I got chili and burgers. Time for a kick-ass day. I don't know about the chili. Burgers are great. I like burgers at Wendy's because Wendy's burgers are always fresh meat. That's one of their actual advertisement things is they don't have frozen meat at Wendy's. It's only fresh meat. So when you eat there, you're always getting unfrozen meat. That's the best flavor and everything. I like Wendy's burgers a ton. I really enjoy them. But as for their chili, boy, at least if their chili is how it used to be, that is some nasty shit. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a shout out to the top cheers of the week so far. The week is still young. It's only Wednesday. But thank you to those who've cheered so far, including Torakill in 10th place. A tie for 8th between Local Nomad and Smoking Some G Fuel. In 7th place, we got Motopox. We got a tie for 5th between Robot Wizard and the Only Viceroy. 4th place is Barrel Shroud. 3rd place, Wrathful Knight. 2nd place, Hurdy-Gurdy Man. And in 1st place, Timbo Slice. Also, thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions to the channel so far this week. We've got Benzuko Lives, Fihu, Motopox, Hell Knight, 672, and Ultima Cloud 7, who each gifted a single sub to the channel. We've got Jackalese, who gifted 3 subscriptions so far this week. And then we got Diocletian, who gifted 5 subs. Thank you to everyone. Now, just again, one final closing thing for the pre-stream. I appreciate all these contributions and support. But guys, please, if you can, and if you are going to support the stream today, please tip me. That's what I really need to help with right now. Tips. I understand some people want to sub and cheer, and that's okay. But if you have the option to choose, please tip me. That's what I need to support with right now to pay bills and the like in the short term. Thank you to those who have been doing so this week so far. Okay? Timbo Slice, thanks for the cheer. I have no idea what you just said. You have to reword that sentence so it makes sense, because I have no idea what you just said. A nuke is getting Cold War as we speak. What? Sometimes I feel, Timbo, you have an idea or in your head, and you just type it so fast that the words come out in the wrong order. Because, I think what you're trying to say is they're adding nukes to Cold War. But, man, is that the wrong order to say it? What on earth? I think, here you go. See? The nuke event is going on right now on Call of Duty Cold War. You see? He retyped it. I think that's what it is some people are like that, and actually I've been like that too. You have an idea in your head, and you just want to get it out as fast as possible. And and it's a jumble, and you end up saying something completely wrong, that not what you intended on saying. So that's happened to me. So I don't know what this nuke event is you're talking about, but I'm not playing Cold War until tomorrow night. Anyway, regardless. Okay. All right, guys. So here's the deal. I'm going to use the restroom. I got to use the restroom. Okay? And, I'm going to take a small break, and I hope that you guys will enjoy the break. You take this opportunity to grab a drink or a snack, use the restroom yourself, or whatever it is that you need to do. All right? I'll be back shortly after this potty break with Danganronpa V3 continuing on. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate all of your support, and I will see you after this break with Murder Mystery Fun. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you, and I shall see you after the break. All right. Very nice.